stop doing that.
Treasure Coast Connector, connecting residents and businesses of the Treasure Coast. And here's your host, Ellen Contreras.
Well, welcome to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras of the Ferris Group, one of our sponsors. To learn more about them, visit the website at www.ferrisgroup.com. That's spelled PHARUS group.com, or call them directly at 772-223-3344. Treasure Coast Connector is a show that puts the spotlight on local business owners so we can learn why they do what they do and what makes their products and services so unique and special. And today we're going to be talking about business, real estate, and fertility law. And joining me in this discussion is Gerardo, Gery Rodriguez of Rodriguez-Albizu Law Firm located in Stuart, Florida. So welcome, Gery, to the show. It's so wonderful to have you here.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Well, perfect. So I always love to ask everyone the same question, and it's why they do what they do. So tell us your story about why you wanted to be an attorney and what made you decide to open up your own practice.
Sure. So first off, I guess, one, thank you again for having me on the show. It's a real pleasure to be here with you.
Yeah.
So the decision to go to law school, when I was an undergrad, studying for, I studied finance in undergrad, and I was very much interested in real estate development. Mm-hmm. And I took a class in real estate finance. The professor brought in a couple of developers to talk to us. And after class was over, I approached them and asked them, how do you get into this industry? Mm-hmm. And one of them said, well, look, real estate development is very law heavy. So you either can pay an attorney a bunch of money, or you sort of can be an attorney yourself and kind of do the work yourself. And so I kind of thought about that, took it a bit to heart. And then also, if you look around, JD, a law degree is a very versatile degree. You can practice law, and many business CEOs, COOs of major corporations are actually former attorneys. Okay. So it's a great way to sort of keep your horizons open, if you will, but also be able to do a great many different things, whether you're practicing law or otherwise. So after, law school, taking the bar exam and becoming an attorney, I worked for a couple firms. Most recently was one of the largest law firms in the country, Greenberg Traurig, which is a great firm to work for. And, I handled a bunch of really interesting cases there. I got to work with a lot of intellectually stimulating issues, the kind of stuff that when you go to law school, you really hope that you can work on.
Like meaty stuff.
Stuff, cases in which you get to change the law or influence the law in. And you're doing work for huge companies, the Walmarts of the world, the Microsofts of the world, and that sort of thing.
Household names, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Large blue chip type companies. And I was having a really, it was enjoyable. I had a really good practice, was doing well there. But the law can also be a sacrificing profession, meaning you have to give up a lot of nights and weekends, especially in litigation, which was the area that I was in. I was a commercial litigator. And I had this one case I'll never forget. It was referred to me by a law school colleague. One of his friends that he knew was a partner in an architectural firm, and it was a 3-partner architectural firm. And the other 2 partners, basically, they had a rift between them, which happens in business. Yep. And so the 2 partners tried to kick him out of the business, and then also make it difficult for him to continue working in that field altogether.
Wow. Like, don't compete.
Exactly.
We don't want you in the firm, but you can't.
We don't, right, because they didn't want their clients to migrate towards him once he threw out his shingle, which they knew he was going to do. So truth be told, they locked the doors, wouldn't let him in. Said they fired him, even though you can't do that to a business owner. But they said they fired him, and then they sued him for theft of trade secrets and all this other type of stuff, this typical non-compete type of jargon. But there was no operating agreement. There was nothing in writing amongst them. And so he was referred to me. I came to work with him, and we resolved the case for him. I helped resolve that case for him. And I'll never forget, after we resolved the case, I sat down with him, and he looked me straight in the eye and said, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be in business. And I got to tell you that meant the world to me. I mean,
Yeah.
he told me straight up, everything you said that was going to happen happened the way you said it was going to happen. Everything about how much it costs that you said was what it cost. And it got resolved the way you said it was likely to be resolved.
You saw the big picture and really helped him.
We saw the big, exactly. And so, that really stuck with me. And why I really appreciated doing the work for the large companies, it really made a great deal of difference to me to be able to do something for another person that was sitting in the chair in front of me that could
was
look
suffering.
could look me in the face and say, thank you for what you did for me. You impacted my life. You impacted my family's life. And so I thought the best way to continue on that mission was to start my own law firm, which is one of the principal reasons for why I started the firm Rodriguez-Albizu Law, was to be able to be out there in the community and help out small and mid-sized business owners who sometimes have a tough time finding competent counsel and at an affordable rate.
That is very true. As a matter of fact, what you said a moment ago segues perfectly into what I wanted to ask you about next. The big companies that we know by name can have their own in-house counsel. They have to, and they'll have a team of attorneys. But the local businesses here, they don't need an attorney on their payroll, and they certainly can't afford that. But I thought that if a small business owner had an issue, that they would, okay, I have this issue, I'm going to go see an attorney. But you actually offer an in-house counsel service, but it's a retainer. And I thought that was brilliant because you then build a relationship with that client, even if they don't need you all that often, but there's an agreement in place that you just step in and help. So tell me about that, because I love this aspect.
Sure. So we call it our outside general counsel services. So the in-house lawyer that you're referencing frequently is their position, their title within a larger corporation is called the general counsel of the corporation. So we call it our outside general counsel services. And we sort of fit the same role that general counsel does for the larger corporation. What our mission, our goal, what we try to do is we want to get to know your business, right? We want to work with your business hand in hand so that when you pick up the phone and you give us a call, number one, you're not worried about what we're charging or how you're being charged, whatever. But more importantly, we know your business. We know your industry. We know how you work, how you like to work. We know the people that work with you. We've gotten to know you as the client in that sense.
That makes a huge difference.
Absolutely, because then when we're talking, we're not talking in a vacuum, right? We know the issues that you normally face. We know what you're trying to accomplish. And so we're able to give structured, competent legal advice to you as a business owner in that regard. And sometimes it's just a sounding board. Hey, Gery, we're thinking about doing X, Y, or Z. What do you think? And then I help them walk through not only the legal risk, but the business risk so that they think about that as well.
Very smart.
Sometimes it's, we're having an issue with a particular employee or we had this issue come up. What do you think? And then we sort of help walk them through that or what have you, depending upon the particular nature of the matter. And then otherwise, it's just straight up legal services, right? Hey, Gery, we're doing business with this new vendor, supplier, business partner, whatever you want to call it. They send us their contract. Can you review it and give us your thumbs up, thumbs down, what you think we should change in it?
A lot of people sign boilerplate contracts.
Yeah, they do. And then, of course, when they end up in problems, that's when they show up at their attorney's office. But by then, your options are much more restricted because you've already defined the rules of the game, right?
It's after the fact.
It's after the fact. And other times it's we want to go and do X, Y, or Z, or we're thinking about approaching this other company or customer. Can you help design a contract for us that suits that particular need? And so we do that, we do that as well.
So you're validating, like you'll say to someone, yes, this is a great idea, this is a great contract, or maybe not so much, but if we work on it this way, so you can also offer solutions and things like that.
Absolutely. That's the goal. I mean, the goal is to provide an outline of the benefits and risks with any sort of legal relationship that you get into. The law is uniquely intertwined with our business environment. It affects our business environment and everything that we do. And so it's important to understand what those legal risks are going in. And our job is to provide counsel in that regard to our client and outline what the risks are. The decision as to whether those risks are acceptable or not are up to the business owner. All we can do is sort of outline the risk associated with a particular course of action, provide some options,
Yeah.
and then it's up to the client to decide what they want to do.
Well, very cool. Here's another thing that struck me as being very unique for you is you are working really hard to dispel the myth that all lawyers want to do is rack up billable hours. So when you sit down with a client for the very first time, you have some questions to get to know them. But I liked your Gery question. So tell me about that question that gets the conversation going.
Sure. So one of the unfortunate aspects of our profession, as you pointed out, is this notion that all attorneys want to do is rack up a bunch of billable hours and just bill the client into infinity and beyond. We try to dispel that myth. We're a firm that is based, one of our founding missions is to provide cost-effective counsel to our clients. So one of the things that I do with any new client that steps into our office is ask them, after they tell me what their issue is, ask them, if you had a magic lamp and you were to rub that magic lamp and I came out as the genie in the bottle and were to tell you if I could grant you one wish, what would that wish be to help solve your legal issue? How would you like to see this end up? Yeah. And then I wait to hear them answer that question. And that tells me a lot, right? Because when I hear that, I'm then able to have a very forthright and honest conversation with them. And I'll give you a perfect example of that. We had a client recently who got into a contract, purchased a business. They didn't hire us beforehand, which is okay. Not everybody that comes to our office does. Unfortunately, it looks like they weren't even represented by counsel to begin with, which I think was a mistake. Okay. And when you're purchasing their business, but nonetheless, they came to us. They had a contract. Of course, an issue popped up. It was friends buying a business, one friend buying the business of another, which is usually how these things frequently start.
Yes.
And of course, they had a rift somewhere along the line. And so they came to us to try to help them figure out a solution. We started some just negotiations with the other side, trying to figure out if we could resolve it. Our client was getting a bit dissatisfied with that approach. And so he said, you know what, I just want to sue the other side. And so before we got into preparing a complaint to file in court and the whole thing, I had a heart-to-heart phone call with him, and I said, if I could be your genie, how do you want to see this end up? And he was very honest. This is what I would like to see at the end of the day. And I had to be very upfront and honest with him and say, listen, the law is not going to provide the remedy that you're looking for. Okay. The remedies that the law will provide are A, B, and C. But what you're looking for, the law, I can't fashion that remedy through a lawsuit. A judge cannot fashion that remedy for you. So if what you want is for this to be the outcome, the only way, frankly, that we're going to get there is if we can get both sides to agree. And I thought, after having that conversation with him, I think it really brought him down and grounded him a bit, and he understood a bit more as to what his options were. That lawsuit to us would have been worth 10 times the amount of money in fees than what we ultimately ended up charging the client. Okay. And we were able to resolve the matter for the client without filing a lawsuit. And, he was very satisfied as a result. A lot of law firms possibly out there would have been quick to file the lawsuit because maybe that's just their style. That's what they want to do. Yeah. We don't operate that way. And in our philosophy is if you do right by the client, we don't have to worry about getting paid. The money will follow. Oh,
absolutely. And they're going to refer other people to you. So
that's exactly. And that's the name of the game. We want to have, if you have an upset client, if you're not honest and forthright about budgets and what things may cost in the legal process, you end up with unhappy clients, and you end up with clients who don't want to, necessarily continue on with the relationship, which is not good for anybody. It's a lose-lose that way. Yeah. We try to create win-win relationships with our clients.
Well, very good. Win-win is the way it should be. So we are really enjoying ourselves, but we always have to do a quick commercial break. So Gery and I, Gery of Rodriguez-Albizu Law Firm of Stuart, Florida, he and I will be right back after a quick commercial break. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Derek Ogden from Word of Mouth Computers and Electronics. Since 2009, my team and I have been providing South Florida and the Treasure Coast with the highest level of service in the technology field. Computers, networks, surveillance systems, web services, Wi-Fi systems, anything you need technology related, we're your guys. Small business technology and consulting is my passion. Whether your business has 1 computer or 100 computers, I will come to your office and give you a custom technology evaluation report, and you won't owe me a dime for it. That's right, a free in-office technology consult, but only for a limited time. For your home or business, all you need is one number for all your technology needs. Call me right now before time runs out at 888-966-7228. Remember, there's no obligation. That number again is 888-966-7228. And ask for me, Derek.
A member of the iTex trading community. Your iTex dollars are welcome.
Hi, I'm Cindy, the proud owner of Cindy's Cleaning Service. I consider it a privilege to be welcomed to people's homes and offices to make them shine. We do it all from ceiling fans to floors, dusting, and windows. With Cindy's Cleaning Service, you get quality cleaning and affordable rates. We are also licensed and insured. Please give us a call and we will give you a free estimate. Cindy's Cleaning Service, 569-9348. At Cindy's Cleaning Service, the Lord is our strength.
Blue Dolphin Pools strives to provide quality service with a well-trained staff in the field and in the office. They want you to know that your pool or spa investment means much more to them than just another account. They believe you have entrusted them with your investment, and they'll do their best to see that it stays in top condition. Blue Dolphin Pool has been in business over 35 years, setting them apart from the competition. Residential or commercial, Blue Dolphin will keep you in the swim. 567-5853.
If you operate a small business, you need services like payroll, tax compliance, HR tools, and other resources. You need Complete Employee Solutions. Vero Beach has a team of professionals, including Anthony Sammons, Matt McCain, and Jennifer Comer, who saw the need for competent payroll, HR, and employee leasing services. Call Complete Employee Solutions at 772-978-7277 or visit their website at CompleteEmployeeSolutions.com.
So welcome back to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras, and we've been talking about business, real estate, and fertility law with Gerardo Rodriguez of Rodriguez-Albizu Law Firm located in Stuart, Florida. Gery, before we dive back into the conversation, can you just tell everybody how to connect with you?
Absolutely.
Directly.
They can connect with us directly at our Stuart office at 772-261-5080. They can also find us on the web at www.ralawpa.com.
Very good. There is a unique aspect to your practice, which not too many people in the area do practice, and that is fertility law. And so what made you decide, if you want to share a little bit of the story of what made you decide to practice fertility law?
Sure, happy to do so. I know that real estate and business law tend to go together.
Yeah.
Fertility law kind of is this weird area of the law that's out there, and everybody always asks me, why fertility law? Yeah. The answer, basically, in a nutshell, my wife and I suffered through infertility when we were trying to have children.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It is something that affects millions of Americans and millions of people around the world.
Yeah.
So we tried to have children for about 3 to 4 years. I had a very difficult time doing so. I needed infertility treatments in order to make that happen. And today we're proud parents of twin boys, ages 7.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
The apples of my eye, for sure. So basically what ended up happening is my wife ended up meeting another mom of twin boys, and her boys were actually born through surrogacy and egg donation. And so having also gone through infertility, herself, they connected that way, and they became very close. And she eventually asked my wife to come work with her in the agency. They help match individuals and parents with women who are willing to serve as egg donors and women who are willing to serve as surrogates. In other words, they actually carry the embryo to term and give birth to the child that belongs to the parents. And so, of course, when my wife got involved in all this, as an attorney, the first thing I said is, "Whoa, what are you doing? Let's take a look at this and make sure, we've cross
Review
the T's.
the contracts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cross the T's, dotted our I's, make sure you've done everything properly under the law. And I found it a very interesting space to work in. There are very few attorneys in Florida that work in fertility law. It's been a very rewarding area of my practice. Frankly, I love doing what I do. I love helping out business owners and individuals, whether it's in real estate or in business law matters. But frankly, it's one of the greatest joys, frankly, in my life is seeing parents hold their child for the first time after, in many instances, going through years of trying to have children.
It's stressful.
It's emotionally taxing, draining. I can tell you that for my wife and I, probably we have a great relationship, but the hardest time, I think, in our marriage was those 3 to 4 years in which we suffered through infertility.
Yeah.
So that's why we do the fertility law stuff at the firm.
Yeah. And so you lived it. So that is why you're probably like the tops, because you personally understand what everybody's going through when they come to you.
Well, we very much appreciate their circumstances, right?
Yeah.
And we understand full well not only the legal issues involved, but the emotional toll that it takes and what they're going through in that process.
Yeah. So, and another unique thing about you with regard to the business law, we'll go back to that now, is you speak Spanish and English. And so when it comes to being bilingual, I think that you're one of the maybe only business attorney that is bilingual. And on the Treasure Coast, we have a growing population. So
absolutely. I love serving the community at large. I certainly enjoy serving the Hispanic community as well. As far as I know of, I haven't met any other bilingual business attorneys. If they're out there, I'd love to meet with them as well. But yes, I'm probably only one of a handful at most here on the Treasure Coast that do practice business or real estate law and that are also bilingual. Proud to be a member of the Hispanic, a board member of the Hispanic Chamber of Palm Beach County.
I was just going to congratulate you on that. I read about that in your newsletter.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Just joined the board of the Hispanic Chamber of Palm Beach County, which is actually going to be looking to migrate also into the Treasure Coast. So we're very excited about that opportunity as well.
Oh, you have to keep me posted as to that because I can put a lot of people your way.
Absolutely.
That would love to be a part of that.
Absolutely.
And so the last question that we're going to touch on is real estate because you love real estate development and being a real estate attorney.
I do.
You have some interesting stories, so talk about some of the unique ways that you've helped people in that regard.
So we do a variety of services when it comes to real estate. Probably most common is we help out and do real estate closings and title insurance and that sort of thing. I think as an attorney that does real estate law and does real estate closings, we bring a unique aspect to that because non-attorney title companies, they can't practice law, right? I mean, they can do closings, they can issue title insurance, but they cannot give you any sort of legal advice. And when you're going through and preparing for a closing and handling a closing, oftentimes, not all the time, but oftentimes there are legal issues that come up along the way that can be a roadblock or an impediment to getting the parties to closing.
Okay.
And if you're not working with a law firm that handles title transactions, in order to clear those roadblocks, now you have to find an attorney to handle that for you, right?
And it elongates the process.
It can elongate the process. It can be more costly that way. So, for example, at our firm, if we encounter one of those issues, if it's something that is minor or easy for us to do, we want to get the parties to closing. And a lot of times we'll handle that. We don't charge anything extra for that, right? We, because it's something we're already handling the transaction as it is. We want to help the parties do what they want to do, which is to conclude the purchase and sale of the property and get them there as quickly as possible. And we've never looked at nickel and dimer clients, and certainly not going to start doing that even in a real estate transaction. For people that try to do or look forward to doing for sale by owner type properties, if we handle the title transaction, we also help the parties complete the purchase contract.
Okay.
So usually the agent's the one who helps them through that process. When they don't have an agent, if we handle the title transaction, we actually help do that for them, and we don't charge anything extra for that service as well.
Well, very good. I cannot believe that we're almost out of time. So again, very quickly, the phone number and the website to connect with you directly.
Sure. You can reach us at 772-261-5080 or on the web at www.rawpa.com.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that you learned something new. And by all means, connect with Gery directly for more information. And I am your host, Ellen Contreras of the Ferris Group, one of our sponsors. And if you want to learn more about them, go to their site, www.ferrisgroup.com, PHARUSgroup.com, or 772-223-3344. Have a great week, everybody.